So a number of terms and phrases have come up during the course of the Oregon standoff trial that are just leaving a lot of people scratching their heads, saying, what are they even talking about? One of those phrases is this concept of a petition for redress of grievances. It's a phrase that came up many times during the course of the trial, and a lot of people have said, what does that even mean? And I've seen a lot of things on social media, people saying, that's not even part of any legal system that we recognize today. What are they talking about? A petition for redress of grievances. So I want to address, basically provide kind of a crash course, a nutshell clip explaining what a petition for redress of grievances is. First of all, it's an umbrella phrase that comes from the First Amendment to the Constitution. And what the First Amendment says is that Congress shall make no act respecting a number of things, including establishment of religion, prohibiting free exercise thereof, freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of people to peacefully assemble. And then here's the phrase in the First Amendment, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Now, that's not a phrase that we really use that much or hear that much today. So what does it mean? The other thing that's important to understand is that's in the First Amendment to the Constitution, and then under the 14th Amendment, it's applicable to all levels of government. The First Amendment makes it applicable to the federal government. The 14th Amendment makes it applicable to the states and to local government and every other level of government. So back to the question, what does it mean? Well, let's look at what Wikipedia says to start out. Again, we're taking a very simplified approach to this. This isn't for lawyers. This isn't for attorneys. This is for average people who are trying to figure out what this even means. According to Wikipedia, the right to petition government for redress of grievances is the right to make a complaint or seek the assistance of one's government without fear of punishment or reprisals. And so really what it boils down to is let's break down the phrase. Let's take each individual term. Most people kind of know what a grievance is. A grievance is a complaint. It's a gripe. It's an issue. You've got an issue with somebody. Let's say your city garbage truck takes out your mailbox. Well, you've got a grievance with the city. You've got a gripe. You've got a bone to pick. That's what a grievance is. Now, what's redress? Seeking redress or petitioning redress of grievances. When you seek redress, you're just seeking to have that issue resolved. You're seeking to have that grievance resolved, that gripe, that bitch, that complaint resolved. You're seeking to find a way to have it addressed. And then let's look at what it means to petition. Petition, I think, is the part that really confuses people, because it really has nothing to do with a petition in the conventional sense of the term, that you go out and you get a whole bunch of people to sign a petition. That's certainly a legitimate definition of a petition. But the concept of petitioning for redress of grievances is an umbrella concept that includes a whole bunch of other things. You can petition anytime you talk to one of your governmental representatives, whether it's your mayor, a council person, county commissioner, you write a letter to one of your congressmen, or if you file a complaint in court, or if you initiate an administrative procedure, or file some kind of complaint, or send a letter. All of those things fit within this category of petitioning the government. Every single one of them. If you call up your city councilman and say, hey buddy, we've got a problem, you're petitioning your elected leader. You're petitioning government. You're seeking redress of the grievances that you've got. Now, that's the basic concept of what it means to petition for redress of grievances. Anytime you have an issue with government at any level, state, local, federal, it doesn't matter. Anytime you talk to any representative from any of the branches of government, the legislative branch, the executive branch, or the judicial branch, the administrative branch, anytime you're seeking to resolve an issue that you have with something government has done, you're seeking redress of your grievances, and you're petitioning. Another definition of petition, sometimes when people pray, it's referred to as petitioning God. I think really what it boils down to in a nutshell is the word approach. When you approach government, when you approach anyone in government in any way, in writing, verbally, in any other way, an email, a text, you've got to, this isn't one of those situations where you're patting them on the back and you're giving them an attaboy or an attagirl for something that they've done. You've got a complaint. You've got a grievance. You want to let them know. You want to have that resolved. You want them to fix your mailbox that the garbage truck took out. You're seeking redress of your grievance. And anything you do to approach them is within that umbrella of petitioning government for redress of grievances. Now, what I'm going to do is come back and I'm going to talk about some specific examples of that to help illustrate what it means to petition government for redress of grievances so that you can understand that it's a concept that is in full force and effect today. At every level, in every community, we do it all the time, but this is kind of a foreign concept. The language isn't what we're familiar with because it's the language that was used 200 years ago in the Constitution, but it means the same thing today, and I'll show you how in the next clip.